flush in India, a harvest in Japan and China. It comes in spring, it comes in summer, it comes in autumn. It can be a fruit, it can be a flower, it can be a leaf, it can be black, it can be green, it can be white. It can even be just one alphabet. What is it? Any guesses in the house?
C.
It can just be an English alphabet.
C. I don't know. C.
Okay. I have a little clue.
T.
You can call it the national drink of India.
T.
I mean, it's kind of debatable.
Tea.
Yes, it's
Chai.
tea. It's tea. The reason why I refer to tea here is tea comes in flushes. There's a first flush and there's a second flush. It's often a debate among tea drinkers. Which flush is the best? Is it the first one or is it the second one? Because which is often called as the champagne of teas, and people who drink Darjeeling tea believe that the second flush is full-bodied, it's rich, and it's malty. So are we ready for a second flush today? Let us get started. So before we get started, let me lay some ground rules. As this is going to be a virtual meeting, it would be really great if we have some time to turn on the video. While it is just a recommendation, it is not a rule. And if possible, let us try to disconnect from other work and focus on the person who's trying to talk and who's trying to take the stage. And more importantly, let us try to call out the other person who's going to talk next, as we are not going to have a handshake. And more importantly, let us virtually applaud when there is a handoff from one speaker to another. And not to forget, let us not talk about the taboo topics which are known to everyone. So without wasting much time, I'm going to pass on the stage to our President of GAS, Toastmaster Charlene. Oh, she's not there.
Yes, I love the tea analogy. Let me put another one there. Last time, everybody was excited. Second day is even better. We can get to know each other better, and we may even be able to hold hands. And the Oracle spoke. We may have a future together. So let the meeting start. Let me hand it over to Hind, the president of the Oracle Club.
Thank you, Charlene. Is Charlene's video choppy, or is it just me? In which case, my video will be choppy. There are nods in. Is my video choppy?
No.
No,
Good.
good.
That's good.
All right, all right. Good evening, Indians. Good morning, Americans. I hope you had a good day, Indians, and I hope you're gonna have a good day, Americans. Welcome to the second rendezvous meeting between the two Toastmasters Club of Arista. It is such a great pleasure to see all these faces again. More so when we have reduced the frequency of our meetings to 1 in 2 weeks because of the reduced strength that is imposed by the online format of our meetings these days. So it's amazing, these new formats that are opened because of these online meetings. Without further ado, I am going to invite the Toastmaster of the day with her eccentric topic, I must say, riddles. Am I forgetting it? What was the whole thing? Riddles?
It's just riddles, basic riddles.
It's just riddles. The poster read something else. No issues. Let's have our Toastmaster of the day riddle us with all her content. Please welcome on stage, on the screen, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Neha.
Thank you, Hind. Hello, everyone. I hope you are excited by today's theme, and Akshaya gave us a good introduction to the meeting with her small tea riddle. I'm going to keep it even shorter because we want to do more of them. So here goes the first riddle for all of you. What goes up and down but does not move?
Heartbeat.
Up and down. Okay, that's also a viable answer. The answer that I was looking for was stairs.
That's a good one.
So that was the starter. Let me give you one more. Now your minds are thinking, so I think you can get the other one. Where do you find an ocean with no water?
I know this. I was just reading this, so I know this.
Oh.
A map.
So do you want to take a try?
A map.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So I'm going to give you such small riddles throughout the meeting today, so your brain cells don't get stagnant or you don't doze off. So let's get started with the actual agenda of our meeting, which is doing our speeches and the table topics. So for that, I'll first invite our general evaluator, Hind, to introduce his evaluation team to all of us. Hind, could you please start with the role introductions?
Certainly. I will be evaluating the meeting from start to finish. No one will be spared from my wrath at the end of the meeting when I give my evaluation. And to help me out will be the tag team, of which G is missing. So if anybody on the panel right now wants to take up the grammarian role, please feel entirely free to do that. And I will give you a couple of minutes to volunteer. Meanwhile, let's invite our timer and AhCounter. First of all, the timer. Please welcome on the screen our timer of the day, Vamshi, who has been holding a green card since forever.
Thanks, Toastmaster Hind. Good morning to everyone and good evening, everyone. So today I'll be keeping track of the whole meeting for people across time zones. So please watch out for me, look out for me. And I'll be flashing green backgrounds, yellow backgrounds and red backgrounds. For the speeches, for the icebreaker speech, I'll be flashing green background from 4 minutes to 5 minutes. And I'll be flashing the yellow background from 5 minutes to 6 minutes. And I'll be flashing the red background once the time is exceeded, that is 6 minutes. And for the L1 P2B speech, I'll be flashing the green background from 5 to 6 minutes and yellow from 6 to 7, and post 7 minutes I'll be flashing the red background. And for the table topics, I'll be flashing the green background from 1 to 1.5 minutes and yellow background from 1.5 to 2 minutes and red background from more than 2 minutes. Yeah, please watch out for me and ensure we end up at the right time. Thanks, guys. Handing over to Toastmaster Hind.
Thank you, Vamshi. Am I still in the green, or is just that green looks nice on you? All right, moving on.
In the green, yeah.
Thank you. Moving on, we have our AhCounter once again from the same city as I'm standing in right now. Toastmaster Shreya, the AhCounter of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind. I have to mention that since you look like you're in Iceland, I don't think we're in the same city right now. So, all right. Coming to my role today, I am going to be playing the role of AhCounter, which is counting the basic CRPF errors that you guys make. C stands for crutch words such as R stands for repetitions, like when you make word or phrase repetitions. P stands for pauses, which is unwarranted pauses like the one that I took probably right now. And F stands for filler words such as you know, I mean, etc. I'll be counting these, and I'll hopefully be presenting a personal report for each speaker today. That's all I have from my side. Thank you, guys. Back to you, Hind.
Thank you once again, Shreya. We have a grammarian. We have someone volunteering to be a grammarian, a monumental task, if I may say. Thank you, Charlene, for doing this. But if you must be a grammarian, I would request you to come up with the word of the day right on the spot, right here. With that, I'll hand over to our just now decided grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Charlene. Wow, she came up
Knew
with the
you
word.
would ask, so I just typed the word on the chat. So that means physical or mental agility or quickness, nimbleness, just like your reaction to my chat. That's a perfect example of agility. So in addition to, so I encourage everybody to use the word agility in a very agility fashion. Also, I will note down the good usage or not so good usage of words and sentences and phrases throughout the meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Hind.
Thank you, Charlene. Before I hand it over back to our Toastmaster of the day, I would like to ask a riddle as well, because I am afraid I only made a list of 4 riddles. And if I don't ask them right now, between our Toastmaster of the day and our TTM, they'll eat up all of them. So here goes mine. What 5-letter word sounds the same if you take away 4 of its 5 letters?
Q.
And the award for the smartest person on the blog goes to Toastmaster Rajeev. With that, let's move on with our meeting, handing it back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Neha.
Thanks, Hind. I thought you were going to give 4 of those. Okay, so Hind has made sure that we don't lose our agile minds, and so I'm going to keep testing your legerity of your brains as well. So I'll put another one there. What can you catch but never throw?
A disease.
Hold.
Oh, good one, both of you, Akshaya and Hind.
What's the answer?
A cold.
Okay.
Or a disease. Yeah. Okay, let's do another one. What gets bigger the more you take away?
A ditch.
A hole.
A hole, yeah.
He just Googled it.
Can also.
No, I was looking where was my mouse to unmute myself.
Yes, I forgot to say no Googling, please. Okay, now let's move on to our first speech. So for that, I would like to invite the speech evaluator first, who is Avinash. Avinash is going to be evaluating Shruti's icebreaker speech. So Avinash, could you please come and give us the speech objectives?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Neha. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Childhood is the most beautiful of all life seasons. A couple of hours back, when I got to know the theme, I just traveled to that best season of my life and recalled that Riddles is the first ever entertaining decrypting game that I played with my friends and cousins. Thanks, Neha, for selecting it and making me to travel to the best season of my life. Coming today, I'll be evaluating Shruti's icebreaker speech. The purpose of this speech is to introduce herself to the club and follow the basic structure. All the best, Shruti. Over to Toastmasters Neha.
Thanks, Avinash. As mentioned, Shruti is doing her icebreaker speech. She has started with her innovative planning manual from the Pathways, and this speech makes her nostalgic. It's from her old days. So let's hear it from her. I would like to invite Shruti for her icebreaker.
Thank you, Neha. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I was born in Kerala, a state in South India. I was always encouraged by my parents to participate in extracurricular activities like elocution, recitation, singing, dancing, etc. My hobbies include reading, music, and nowadays hiking, traveling, watching some series or shows or movies on YouTube, Netflix, HBO. I think a person's hobbies talk a lot about that person. In my case, I was given the name Shruti because of his story my dad still reminds me from time to time. As a baby, I used to be really stubborn and would not stop crying at all. My parents had no idea how to stop me from bawling my eyes out. They tried so many things like milk, toys, car rides, nothing worked. One day, my dad played classical music to ease his stress. To his surprise, the crying stopped. The baby even smiled. He thought, wow, this child might do something great in the music world, and named me Shruti. Shruti means what is heard. It's also an important term in Indian classical music. In music, Shruti is the smallest interval of pitch that human ears can perceive. Anyway, for my parents, this discovery was heaven. They could stop the crying just by turning music on. My dad later told me he named me Shruti thinking I would become a professional musician in the future. That was pretty interesting to me because usually Indian parents want their kids to grow up and become engineers or doctors. Anyway, my parents arranged everything for my music education. I started learning vocal classical music at the age of 5 or 6 years. Oh, I disliked my music master so much. He was very old and he used to sleep throughout all the music sessions. I absolutely enjoyed those sessions only because I could do anything while he slept. I would play, read some children's books, and many other mischievous things. My parents did not know this, and smart as I am, I did not tell them. This happened for around 4 years. I have a lot of respect for my first music master, but I hardly learned anything in those 4 years. Then my parents figured out my progress was not like they expected, and my hardship began. My second music master was really strict. He would grind his teeth and scream at me whenever I made a small mistake. Those 1 hour sessions were like a nightmare. He was very particular about me learning the music notes and lyrics by heart. And if I ever forgot a note or even tried to look at my music notebook, he would be like, "What are you even singing? Absolute rubbish. I don't know why I'm teaching you. Why did you not learn the notes already?" I would get scared, and sometimes you could see tears rolling down. I absolutely disliked those sessions. I almost hated music altogether until one day I met my third music teacher. He was very patient, caring, friendly, attentive. All those things a music master should be. I began to learn and love music. I started to win music competitions, one after another. Sometimes I wondered why my dad made sure all his kids got music education and why he always showed a great interest in us participating in music competitions. Then I understood. He wanted to learn music as a child, just that his family could not afford it. He's always happy and proud when we sing. Music is still an integral part of my life. I listen to music all day sometimes. When I take shower, when I cook, when I sleep. One regret that I have is not continuing my music lessons after school. I got busy with studies, work, social life. Then I got new interests and hobbies. Anyway, it's never too late, right? I have started taking violin lessons now, and I'm loving it. The Toastmasters Icebreakers page reminded me of my music days in my childhood. And after 5 or 6 long years of not singing, I used my voice for singing the other day. I would like to sing a few lines of a song. And about this song, this is called a Geetam, and this is something you learn at the very beginning of your classical music lessons. This song is about goddess Lakshmi. She is the goddess of wealth and prosperity. Here it goes. Sari ga pa dha sa, sa dha pa ga re sa. Varaveena mridupani vanaruhatu chanarani suruchirabham varavini suranuta kalyani nirupama shubhaguna loli Niratachaya Pradhashili Varada Priya Ringanayaki Vaganchita Bhala Dagayaki Sarasicha Sanajanani Jaya 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 Vani. Thank you. Back to you, Neha.
Thank you so much, Shruti. Wasn't that the cutest story we have heard and the sweetest voice for our day to start, and for some people for them to go to sleep? Wow, thank you, Shruti, very much. I would like all of you to take 1 minute and give her feedback. Anand has shared the feedback form in the chat. Can you please try to access it? If are all of you able to open it? Okay, I hear no concern. So I think everyone is able to open it. Okay. Timer, please let me know in a minute.
The comments can be added on later, right?
Yeah, I think you can edit the form later also. Or you can submit it later if you want to keep going. You don't need to submit it right away at the end of a minute. You can keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, this is Anand, and you can use this form anytime. You can give your comments even after a few days.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Time is up. If you are not done, you have to do it in your own time. We will get started. We'll proceed with the meeting. Let me throw out some of those more riddles for you guys. I hope you're having fun, so I don't want to stop. What belongs to you but is used more by others? Okay, I think Hind has the answer.
Name.
Who said that?
Name. Our name.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Somebody beat me to it.
See, so the trick is you don't need to raise your hand. You can just say it out. Okay, so next one. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, and never in 1,000 years?
M. Letter M.
Yes. All right, let's move on with the meeting. We do have a second speaker who is Sumedh. He's giving his level 1P3 engaging humor project speech. I would like to invite Max, who will tell us about his speech objectives. Max, could you please introduce Sumedh's speech?
Thank you, Neha. As you said, so, hold on, I have my notes. Movement. Sumedh is giving his L1P3 speech. The goal of this project is to address strategies for selecting a topic, suggestions for research, and methods for producing a well-organized speech. Also, Sumedh asked me to pay attention to his speech intonation that he has been working on. The title of his speech is Yours Anxiously, TM Sumedh. Good luck, Sumedh. Back to you, Neha.
Thanks, Max. Sumedh likes to read a lot, and he reads a lot of research journals and ponders pointlessly over these journals. Today, he's here to share his passion, albeit needlessly, with us. Let us give him a big round of applause and welcome him to give his speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neha. About 3 weeks ago, I came across a research which stated that over 73% of the people who had participated in that research had something called as glossophobia. So here is a question to the august and all erudite audience present here today. How many of you here know what glossophobia is?
Fear of public speaking.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So glossophobia means the anxiety or fear of public speaking. Here's a follow-up question. How many of you feel anxious before a speech? Raise your hands. All right. That is over 73%, right? Great. So the question then is, what causes glossophobia? Research states that glossophobia is caused by a set of hormones our body secretes just before we are about to give our speeches. Flight or fight hormones are the hormones we produce before we get into a fight, or in my case, run away from one. And these are the hormones which actually cause us to go all bewildered. The symptoms of glossophobia include heart rate, high BP, breathlessness, trembling, general unease, or nervousness. Some things which what I would call FIDS in a shorter version. It is also noted that these glossophobic anxieties peak as we are about to mutter our first words of our speech. That is, in my case, when Neha handed over the stage to me, that was when my graph peaked. So if someone was planning on a heart attack, then that would have been the window, the overturn window. As I once saw this Robin Williams interview wherein Johnny Carson once asked him, does he actually get anxious before coming and performing his stand-up bit? And he replied, every time he gets on the stage, his brain goes, everyone out. There are 4 emergency exits, everyone out. That's what his brain used to send the signal as. So it is not a very unnatural thing to have, and it is something that we need to live with. A classic glossophobic person is okay with having a conversation with a group of people. In fact, they tend to do better in a conversation with a limited audience, but are afraid to speak directly to an audience. A very good example of this was Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill once said that he imagines the audience are sacks of potatoes while giving his speech. While being a great tip, that does not work out for me personally, as I'll be even more paranoid if the sack of potatoes were to talk to each other, right? That would just get me over the roof. And therein lies the problem. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to glossophobia. In my case, I feel natural telling people stories. 15 years, I repeat, 15 years of practice coming up with stories on why I could not finish my homework has made me a decent storyteller. So whenever I have to give a speech, I start off by telling a story. For example, today I started off by saying that about 3 weeks ago, I came across a research and then I moved into the premise of my speech. Another way we can deal with our anxieties is by asking a question or stating a fact to get the speech started. What that does is gets you in a conversational mode and allows you to build on top of audience's response. For example, I could have started by saying about 75% of the people in all humans find themselves at unease while they are speaking publicly. That could have startled some of the audience members and could have given me an opportunity to build on top of that response. Or I could have asked the question and started my speech by asking the question, what is glossophobia, right? So those are some things that we can do. So every individual person has to come up with different ingenious solutions to tackle glossophobia. At some level, we should also depend on our legility to come over our anxiousness. But here is the point. These anxieties will never be eradicated completely, and believe you me, will surely not disappear overnight. Only practice can help you minimize these anxieties. And that exactly is the reason I am part of Toastmasters International. It is also the reason I find my Toastmasters journey adventurous and full of learning. So before I wander off into my cave, I would like to exhort all the people present over here to be better prepared for your future speeches by keeping in control the anxieties which naturally tend to appear. In doing so, all of you have my best wishes. Yours anxiously, Sumedh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sumedh. So are we all ready to apply these techniques in our future speeches? I hope so, because I surely feel that glossophobia phobia. Okay, let's take a minute to evaluate Sumedh's speech so that we can jot down all the good points while they're fresh in our memory. Anand has shared the form on the chat, so it's a different form. In case you're planning to do it later, please copy the link and keep it somewhere else. Okay, the time is up. Let's move on with the meeting. Here's a riddle for all of you. Which word is in the dictionary is spelled incorrectly?
Incorrectly.
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 Yeah.
Yes, that's the right answer. And what is always coming but never arrives?
The future.
Yes, or tomorrow. Okay, now let's move on to the most exciting part of our session. I shouldn't say the most exciting, the speeches were really good. I should say the most awaited because it gives more people a chance to speak. Rajeev, can you please start the table topic session?
Thank you, Toastmaster Neha. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. So the theme for today's table topic would be home is where the heart lies. So we all love our home. So no matter where we are, nothing is as comforting as our home when we come back after a tiring day's work, right? and we always love to have things in its place. And whenever the things are not set according to our emotions, we go into that legerity mode to set things right. So today I am going to give participants the opportunity to talk about their home. But the catch is, I am going to decide a place, one of the weirdest places on the planet Earth, and I'm going to give a place, and the participants will have to defend why that place is the best place in the world to live in. So are you guys ready? Cool. So who would like to volunteer for the first chance? Any volunteers? It's going to be easy. Okay. Cool. I'll go for Sriram, then I'll come to you, Vicky. So Sriram, your first choice of place is, you have selected a place. Usually people select place wherein you have a mountain landscape or a sea face siding view, but you have selected a place wherein a view is an active volcano. So how do you defend yourself stating that that view is the best view in the world, and why is your place the best place to live in?
Thank you, Rajeev. How many of you have gone to Hawaii? Okay. Don't you just love the place? The reason that place is so beautiful is because of the active volcano. It's the active volcano that keeps the soil rich with beautiful vegetation. And that's what brings a lot of tourists to Hawaii. Who wouldn't want to go and retire in a place like that? That's my hometown. Every beautiful day I can look at the volcanoes and the rich vegetation that is fostered by it. Of course, like any other place, it has its risk. The volcano can erupt, but science has advanced. We can predict and take precautions. So rather than being stuck in an apartment staring at the wall, let's all enjoy the nature with its beautiful scenery fostered by the volcanoes. Thank you. Back to you, Rajeev.
Thank you, Sriram. That was a very nice description of why you like active volcano spots as your favorite home. Vicky, for you, like as you can see in the Charlie's background, let's assume that your house is situated on top of a hill, wherein you don't have any road access, but you need to climb 5,000 staircases to reach your house. And you need to like describe us like why do you love that place a lot, and you can just tell us why it's the best place to live in the world.
Why a house on top of the mountain is the mountaintop the best place to live in the world? Well, first of all, you got very good air because you're far away from the busy car travel, traffic, the noises, the pollution. So the air on top of the mountain has beautiful air that you can breathe in. And second, 5,000 staircase. Isn't that perfect? We're all wearing Fitbit. What do we need? At least 10,000 steps a day. I just need to do my morning walk, go down and come back. Guarantee I don't need to see a doctor anytime soon. Right? And third thing, for many of you, I think you're familiar with meditation. If you watch all the movie, all the Kung Fu art master, they always meditate on top of the mountain. Imagine, why would it be your perfect home? Because every day, when you wake up, you just open the window and you can
So, you can meditate all you want and have a beautiful day, or happy after your meditation. Therefore, a house on top of the mountaintop is the best place to live in. For better health and may you a productive day. Thank you. Back to you, Rajeev.
Thank you, Vicky. That was a very well way of living a peaceful life on top of the hill. Who'd like to go next? Okay, Lihua. So let's put on some interesting stuff right now. So let's assume you have a house already, like in a outskirts of a city, and a government tries to buy all the land around you to build an highway through it, but you refuse to give up your house. What ends up happening is that there's a highway right in your house is in the middle of the highway, and you just need to tell us why that is the best place in the world to live in. Did I make it clear, or should I need to?
Yes, I got your question. Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear highway communities, highway building communities, today I'm here to claim that this house, the house that I have lived in for 5 years with my kids, my husband, it is the place that you should keep instead of destroying it and let the highway pass through it. This house, I have deep feeling for it. When I first started the house, I'm still pregnant with with my first kid. I lived in there. My son was born there, and I see my son started playing in the yard, and then my second kid, my daughter, was also born in that house. And since we live in that house, I started to love plants. We grow lots of plants and lots of fruit trees. And I even see some precious plants like what's that name? It's a kind of a bamboo, but it predicts the prosperity of those kind of things grow in my yard without anybody spreading seeds on it. So this predicts that this land is a very auspicious. It is a very good land that we should let people live there instead of build a highway, let cars stepping on it, passing through on it. And recently we also bought a box of chicken on it, and the chicken was walking in the yard happily, and we are predicting they're gonna lay eggs in 6 months. If the government gonna take away my house, where am I going to live? Where is a better place that can replace the one that my whole family has stayed here for 5 years? Where are those bamboos gonna go? Where are the chicken gonna go? I can't imagine it. How can you just let the highway pass through my house? Why not let the highway just across around to some place? There are so many land nearby. Let the house go, let the highway turn around and go through other place. My place is my private property. If I vote no, it should be no. Thank you.
Thank you, Lihua. Do we have time for more? Just wanted to check on the timer.
Oh. We can have one more.
Okay. Any last volunteers? No one? Okay. All right, Hind. Thank you. So in your case, let's give an example of a New York wherein there is no more space to build houses. So the government decides to build houses on the alleyways, and you get a house on an alleyway. So alleyway is a small street between the two houses. It's like a kind of where you have a back entrance, right? And you get a spot on there, and you need to explain why is that the best place to live in.
Yeah, you see, we have seen superhero movies, right? All of us. Where does Superman go to change his clothes and get into a Superman costume? In an alleyway. Where does Spider-Man go to change into his costume? Alleyway. And alleyways by their nature will have insects and everything, right? So you increase the chances of not just meeting a superhero, but also get bitten by a radioactive spider and becoming a superhero. Do you see the immense amount of possibilities that lie open in front of you when you get a house like mine, which is in an alleyway? And not just that, I'll be living in a ground floor. The whole roof is for me. Nobody can tell me to keep the volume down. Nobody can ask me to not exercise because it's causing too much noise to the downstairs people. I am a free person living in my house in an alleyway, so you should buy a house in an alleyway like me, because that is practically the best place to live in. And if you have to go anywhere, commuting is so easy. You step out, it's the road. You don't have to go down a flight of stairs. You don't have to go to the basement to get to your vehicle. You don't have a vehicle. You are broke probably because you're living in an alleyway. With that, I think I made a case. I made my case. You should buy a house in an alleyway because that is practically the best place to live in. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Hind. The participants for the table topics were Vicky, Sriram, Lihua, and Hind. You can send the votes to Akshaya, the Sergeant of Arms, and she'll be like announcing the table topics winner at the end. Giving the baton back to you, Neha.
Thanks, Rajeev. We are running out of time, so I'm going to skip all the riddles now and move directly to our evaluation section. For that, I would like to invite Hind to lead the speech evaluations and general evaluation of the meeting. Hind, please take over.
Thank you. Thank you. You can hold on to all those riddles. We'll be asking them at the end. I also have one more, so I'll ask that at the end. Without any further ado, let's get on our first evaluator, Toastmaster Avinash.
Thank you, Hind. Yes, that's a great start for your Toastmasters journey, Shruti. Congratulations on it. First thing I noticed is you choose a unique plot for your icebreaker. You made your musical journey as a plot for your icebreaker, which is usually we see people taking us through their journey, which is a kind of a normal, like they touch upon their education, then how did they choose engineering. Very sadly, most of them are sad about it. But yeah, so that's the best. That's the best part. Coming, the second best thing is you are throughout your speech, you're calm and you are speaking as if you're speaking to your best friend. You are narrating a story in such a calm way. That's the best attribute. Please keep it up. Then you did work on your vocal variety. Your expressions, your face expressions are very good. You expressed according to the sentiments of that situation. I think one thing that which you could improve on is your bass pitch. Maybe if your bass pitch is increased, even if you improve on your bass pitch, that will help you attract audience and gain more. You can captivate audience soon. Now, what I felt was we had to listen very closely to you. But if your pitch is increased, then that would be better. That would have pulled. It would have reached next heights. And one more thing for improvement is your tone dropped a couple of times. The tone which you set for your story, like soothing, you're telling your journey, musical journey. At some point, I felt that maybe you lost the tone. Maybe you can work on that to maintain the same tone from starting to ending. Yes, that's what I had for you. Great start. Keep it up. Thank you. Over to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Avinash. I would like to add maybe 1 or 2 points to Avinash's evaluation. I totally agree with a couple of his points, which are amazing fluency and great connect in terms of content with the audience. That was brilliant. You touched upon your journey of growing up, and as we all are adults, we have grown up too. So there is definitely a relation there. And not just that, we have all gone through those stages of getting into college, doing engineering, leaving something behind. Amazing. If I may suggest just one point of improvement is that think about your beginning of the speech. When you begin with, let's say, 6 or 7 continuous small sentences, there is a slight possibility that you can lose the audience, you can lose your listeners, which did not happen this time. It is completely not forgivable, I would say, because that was not even the expectation, as it is in L1 P1. But whenever you deliver your next speech, think about the beginning, because if you can begin with a punch, begin with a strong start, that's where you got them hooked, and that's where you can reach new heights. With that, thank you very much. That was an amazing speech. Now I'm going to invite the second evaluator, the evaluator for Toastmasters, Sumedh, who is Toastmaster Max. Welcome, Max.
Thank you, Hind. First, congratulations, Sumedh, for your speech. I love the idea that you used to address the topic of glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. You started by asking the audience a couple of questions and establishing that many people knew what it was, and most people suffer from anxiety before a speech. Then you proceeded to describe what causes the anxiety and what are the symptoms of such anxiety. And continue with a couple of examples and finish with some suggestions on how to get over this. Let me go over the things that I like the most about your speech. Other than, I think you chose a very good topic, but what I really like was your very subtle use of humor. You have in many different points these very small remarks that I found them were very, I'll call them cute humor. For instance, your reference to fight or flight, or in your case, you know, trying to avoid a fight, or your reference to Churchill's quote and how you would be freak out if you see a sack of potatoes talking to each other. And there were a few others, like, oh, I'm before going back to my cave, for instance. Those humor references give your speech a lot of lightness in avoid being it too serious. I think the other thing that I noticed was what I call meta examples. You give us examples of how to overcome an anxiety when starting a speech by using the very same things that you have in your speech. So you use your speech to show how to do a speech. That worked very well by just telling the audience that they felt the connection to you at the beginning of the speech, and then you tell them that's a technique that I use, or that you can use in order to connect to the audience at the beginning of your speech and ease your anxiety. A few things that you could do better. I think your intonation was very good. It was very clear to hear you. At the end, it became a little bit repetitive. You use the same intonation all the time, up and down, showing emotions, transmitting your sentiments, which was good, but you could have used a little bit more of variety. For instance, every time you say something that is supposed to be humorous, you could have stopped, use pauses to let the audience take it in and notice that there was a joke there, right? And then you could use a little bit more emphasis when you are talking about some stronger points. Another thing that you could have done, you have a reference to Winston Churchill and to Robin Williams. You could have tried to, not, I wouldn't say imitate them, but at least use a different voice just to convey that it was their point of view. Another thing is when you are doing a research project, it's always good to cite your sources. You mentioned a few studies or a few suggestions. You could have, if they have sources, you could have used them. Not a big deal. And another thing, this is just a small suggestion. Using a fake background when you're giving a presentation, a video presentation, sometimes can be distracting, and your face is in the dark. So it's very hard to see you when you're talking. Right? So it's hard to connect physically with you when you're doing your speech. But in general, I really like your speech. I really like the way that you delivered. I'm looking forward to see more speeches from you. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmasters Hind.
Thank you, Toastmaster Max. Very thorough, very exhaustive evaluation. I was thinking that I will have something to add to it, but sadly for me, he ran through all my points. So I'm going to move on, and I'll call our timer of the day so that he can tell us how much did we relax ourselves. Please welcome Toastmaster Vamshi.
Thanks, Toastmaster Hind. So basically, today we have started the meeting 8 minutes late. So probably next time we should ensure we should start on time. From the role takers perspective, most of us went on time and we were on time. So the first speech by Shruti took almost like 8.5 to 9 minutes. So Shruti, please take care of that. Sumedh's speech was okay. I mean, from the time perspective, it was almost close to 6.5 minutes. So it's good. From the table topic sessions, Sriram took 1 minute 15 seconds. Vicky took 1 minute 40 seconds. Lihua took close to 3 minutes. So Lihua took slightly more time. Hind took 1 minute 15 seconds. From the evaluation sessions, Avinash was on time and he closed around 2 minutes 30 seconds. Max took slightly more time, couple of minutes more. So Max took around 5 minutes. Hopefully, we are hoping we will close the meeting on time. Handing over to Toastmaster Hind.
Thank you, Vamshi. That was thorough. And I guess all of us will have some, not all of us, but some of us definitely will have something to take from it. Next up, our AhCounter of the day, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind. I'll get to it right away. Overall, I think this was a great performance by us. We have probably accumulated around 50 CRPFs altogether as a team today. So excellent job, everybody. Yeah. Let me get to the individuals. Toastmaster Neha as TMoD today, it has been less than 10 CRPF words from your side. So excellent job. All of your errors were around the usage of or which is basically crutch words. You did not use any other CRPFs. Hind as 2 roles, just give me 1 second. Yeah, as GE, I saw that most of your, again, you used around less than 10. Combined for both roles, you used less than 10. And most of your errors were around crutch words itself, focusing towards the beginning of your sentences. Same holds good for timer Vamshi. You used around a bit over 10, I would say, and all of it was concentrated at the beginning of your sentences as the crutch word That's it. It's a very specific. Everything else was perfect from that side. First speaker Shruti. Might I say, what an excellent job. Not a single CRPF usage throughout those 9 minutes I think she spoke for. There was not a weird pause, not a single crutch word used, and I really tried very hard to find some error, but I could not. So great job. Second speaker Sumedh, your issues were focused around repetitions. Again, repetitions happening in the beginning of sentences. So I think you have something you want to say, but you've not exactly structured how you begin. Where most of your issues were, and it was again less than 10, I would say, overall. And the same evaluation holds good for Evaluator Max also. All your errors were around repeating phrases at the beginning of sentences. That also around 10, not more than that. Coming to Evaluator 1, Avinash, I could see that your issues were around usage of in your sentences, which is a crutch word. Again, very less, I think around 5, maybe not more than that. Coming to the table topic session, speaker number 1 and speaker number 2, that is Sriram and Vicky, not a single usage of CRPF in your whole 1.5 to 2 minute speech. Excellent job, both of you. I think you're leading the way in how we should be talking in impromptu speeches. And it really inspired me, at least. Speaker number 3, Lihua, I saw that in the beginning it was okay, but towards the end you were using crutch words a lot. So I would say that towards the end, I feel like you were trying to structure your content a bit, and maybe because of that, there was a lot of usage of crutch word. Around 15, I think overall your count must have been. And I've already spoken about speaker number 4, Hind, along with his role. That's all I have today. I hope this evaluation was helpful to you guys. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Hind.
Now, because I have not used it up until now, I will display the legerity of my mind in remembering that we have a grammarian. And invite our grammarian of the day on the panel to evaluate the meeting. Please welcome Toastmaster Charlene.
You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Majority, when it came to use the word majority, especially Toastmaster Shreya and Neha, Sumedh, and Rajeev. I really know Sumedh incorporated in his prepared speech to use the word of today. It was a perfect example of being majority and use that in a humorous fashion. There are so many good use of words and phrases in the two formal speeches. Shruti, when you can sing, I couldn't even pay attention to that much about usage, but however, there are so many good things stood out. You use a lot of descriptive words and phrases and give the speech a lot of lives, such as you are bawling your eyes out and you did like mischievous things during the music session, and the second teacher was grinding his teeth and he scolded you that your practice was absolute rubbish. And that was a lot of colorful and descriptive phrases that I really like. Sumedh, I really agree with Max that the speech was full of subtle humor. I really liked the description of the cooking potatoes, that you were over the roof when you heard the talk. And you engineered a solution for all of us. And you gave us a lot of personal stories on how to overcome gastrophobia. I have to say that everybody took up the new word of the day, gastrophobia, and I forgive all of them at the end. And that was a good session, everybody. Thank you. Back to you, Hind.
Quick question before I begin my evaluation. Is it this or is it this?
Any.
All right. Any? All right then. First of all, we began late, which Toastmaster Vamshi has already touched upon. I guess that's a repetitive behavior, especially in online meetings, because we we attend so many online meetings, and it becomes our tendency to join the meeting, minutes before it's starting or minutes after it. And when we do that, sometimes it happens that we are not completely prepared for it, and as was seen today, it delays the start of the meeting. We should be more thoughtful of it and try to start the meeting on time. One comment I have for the TMoD is the title of the two speeches were not given, and the two speakers were invited without the title of the speech. So I'm not sure if neither of the speakers decided on a title or was that question never asked, but I would request the TMoD to, whenever the situation comes in the future, to have a title of the speech as well. Overall, the meeting was solid. Everybody did their role excellently, I must say. The only thing that I think demands improvement is time and how we get around it. So many of us went overtime in our roles, listing them down: speaker, one of the evaluator. Now I will also most likely go overtime, one of the table topic speakers. And what that tells me, at least, is we generally find it difficult to structure our content, or we might have too much content. If we have too much content, if it's an impromptu speech like that of an evaluator or a table topic speaker, I would request the speaker in question to cut down on the content as much as possible and try to stick to the time limit, because among other things that we are trying to get from the Toastmasters is being able to crystallize our content in given stipulated time. And if it's a prepared speech and it's still going over time, I would request the prepared speakers to prepare the speech in advance as much as possible and keep on editing their draft of the speech until they hit the stipulated time or much before that, because when you're speaking in front of a public, in front of a crowd, it's very easy for you to go beyond how much you have prepared. That is my only single point of suggestion that I wanted to give. Beyond that, I think everybody did a great job. And as a last note, I have just one point for Lihua. Lihua, when you were talking about you having chickens and there being the possibility of a highway passing by your house, I thought that was a perfect opportunity for you to say, why did the chicken cross the road? Missed it. Anyway, with that, I would request everybody to vote for the best role takers and best table topic speakers if you have not already. For best role takers, Akshaya has put out a form in the chat. And for best table topic speakers, I hope all of you would have already sent your candidate to Akshaya. I'll let Akshaya announce the winners. Akshaya, do you have the results already?
I actually have a tie between two people. I think I missed Dennis' vote. So I think she can help me break the tie. You are on mute. You are on mute, I guess. Hello?
We cannot hear Dennis.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, I was going to quickly vote. You want me to still do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me just very quickly. Sorry about that. I didn't.
For the best table topic vote.
Okay. Oh, so, best table topics?
Let us guess. So let us guess the two people who are going to be tying here. Any guesses in the house for the best table topic winner?
Vicky.
Okay. Akshaya's video and audio is frozen, I think.
Oh,
Akshaya?
Akshaya.
Not the first time.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I see 11 votes. I see 11 votes on the best role taker form. So I'll announce those.
I think
the best speaker. Any guesses? Any favorites? Anybody that you're rooting for?
Shruti.
Yay! And no brownie points for guessing. It is Shruti. Congratulations, Shruti. You are the best speaker today. And for best evaluator, do we have any guesses?
Max.
Why does everyone guess correctly? Maybe because you can. And the best evaluator of the day is Max. Congratulations, Max. With that, I would like to ask one riddle and quickly hand it over to Neha so that she can ask some more riddles. My last riddle for the day is, what is so fragile that saying its name breaks it?
Silence.
Yeah, she also read the same page that I read.
No, I didn't read it. I thought of it right now.
Oh, then you are the new smartest bloke on the panel. With that, thank you very much. I'm handing it over back to our TMoD, Toastmaster Neha.
I would like to invite Denise for her comments or anything else she wants to share. She is the Division B Director. Denise, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that is correct. In District 4, I am currently the Division B Director, and I was the past Area E5 Director in District 101, and this Great America Speakers was one of my clubs, so it's really great to see everyone again, and it's awesome that this is actually my second joint meeting with a club in another country, because I participated in a joint meeting with a club in China, which was really cool too. So, like I said, great speeches, great evaluations. I agree with Hind about the time, because it's very important, especially if you're in a contest, because if you're even 1 second over time, you're going to be disqualified. But great meeting overall.
Okay, thank you, Denise. Lastly, I would like to invite Lihua or Hind, sorry, not Lihua, Charlene or Hind to close the meeting, the presidents of the two clubs. Oh, we didn't get the table topic vote, right? Akshaya, sorry, your video had frozen out. Do you want to tell us the winner now?
Okay, so there was a tie between Vicky and Hind. Both of them had 6 votes, and if Dennis decided to favor anyone, now that people will know who we are going to vote for. So yeah, so we had a tie between Vicky and Hind. It was just 6-6 each. So okay, let's have 2 table topic winners for today. So it's okay. So we are going to have 2 table topic winners. That's Hind and Vicky.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry, I didn't see I sent you a message. I didn't see the poll for the table topics, so but it's okay.
Send the name to Akshaya via the chat.
Okay, so do we have, can we have Charlene or Hind close the meeting with their closing remarks?
Go ahead,
Why don't you go first, Hind?
All right. That kind of makes it cyclical. Yeah. Good call. All right. It is, as always, amazing to have these rendezvous meeting with another country. Who would have thought before the pandemic began that we could do it? And it is so great to meet all these people across borders and oceans and get to know all of you is the best part of this meeting, although learning might be a close second. I had a really fun time doing table topic speaking, and trying to generally evaluate this meeting. And I hope all of you also did. With our dwindling participation in our meetings because of the platform, I think we will have more of these meetings. So silver lining, why not? And those are my closing remarks. Thank you everyone for joining the meeting. Thank you everyone for sparing some time from, I'm pretty sure, your busy schedule. Thank you, Denise, for participating in this meeting and giving us your evaluation of the meeting. Thank you very much for that. Now I'll hand it over to Charlene for the final closing remarks before we sound it off and bid good night, at least on our side.
I can agree more that I totally enjoyed this meeting. Even though I was on vacation, I can't miss it. So I'm out in the country and I listen to all your stories and see your smiles and listen to songs, and I can't enjoy more is the topic on the ice. And just a final note that for the Great America speakers, please fill out the participation form. For the other club, just want to let you know that we have a contest going in the club to encourage participation. So we will have prize at the end of the month. So we are going to have this contest for 3 months to see how it goes. So I really enjoyed the meeting and I appreciate the enthusiasm and the stories. And I look forward to more of the joint meetings in the future. With that, I will call the meeting adjourned. Take care and bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice meeting all of you.
Yep.
Nice
Thanks, Dennis.
Nice
Thank you,
seeing
Denise.
you. All right.
Thank you for your
Bye.
support.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye.
Have a great day. Have a great night.